Purana Kila, an ancient site inhabited by different generations, is traditionally associated with the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata text gives us an idea of how the city would have looked like, and that idea has been visualized by a creative artist.
There are two extremely divergent views about the historicity of the Mahabharata. According to one, those of the faithful, they hold that everything mentioned in the Mahabharata is true to the very letter. There is, on the other side, there are the skeptics who hold that Mahabharata is the figment of imagination of a poet called Vyas, and it is just mythical, there is no truth in it. Now, where do we stand between these two extremes? That was haunting my mind for a long time. As an archaeologist, I thought that the only and the best way to resolve this issue would be to explore and excavate the sites associated with the Mahabharata story.
Claudius Ptolemy, the celebrated Egyptian astronomer and geographer who visited India during the 2nd century AD, has marked in his map of India Indraprasth, close to Mathura.
Very important and interesting point in this context was that all the sites, and I stress the word all the sites associated with the Mahabharata story are continuing with the same name today.
The present place names Baghpat, Tilpat, Sonipat, Panipat and Indrapat are the 5 places demanded by the Pandavas from the Kauravas, and it is significant that all these places have yielded the painted greyware associated with the Mahabharata sites.
There is therefore no doubt about that the sites are the same. Each and every site you find a mound, because it has been there in existence from about 1000 BC till date, and even today at many of the sites, for example, if you pass through Panipat or Mathura, you find there is habitation over the mound even now.
To be certain about a historic place, the only way open to an archaeologist is to explore and excavate the sites. Various sites associated with the Mahabharata have been excavated. One of the key sites is Hastinapur.
Hastinapur, luckily for us, gave very useful and important evidence, which is something very rare in the history of excavations. Mound of Hastinapur runs north-south along the river. We found the painted greyware on the western side, but it wasn't there on the eastern. So we were completely baffled, what is this? The idea came to me, is it possible that the eastern side of the mound was cut away by the river? Roughly from where we did not find the painted greyware on the eastern side, about that point, within an area of about 10 meters, we did some excavation. And we found that yes, this was a fact, that on the non-river side the painted greyware was there. On the river side the painted greyware was missing. Well, with this clue, next morning we put a trench in that particular area, went down and down. And luckily for us, we found the evidence of the erosion line left by the flood. The flood cut away the mound and we got the erosion line. Now, this particular photograph shows you a man standing and pointing to the erosion line. The erosion line goes in a zigzag manner downwards. Against this, you find the layers in a sloping manner, which accumulated later on. And in the other slide, you find the natural soil, the cutting of the mound, then the layers that got the fallen material, over which you have got the layers of sand and clay left by the flood. So it became very clear that this eastern part, that is the riverside part of the mound, was cut away by the river. Then we wondered that if this is so, is it that the river bed may still be retaining some of this stuff? So we took the risk of boring in the river bed, and we put in 4 bores. In these we found some of the washed away material from the mound. So all this evidence made it absolutely clear that the eastern part of the mound was washed away by the river.
In 1956, trial trenches dug at 3 points in the lower levels of the mound at Purana Killa are traditionally believed to represent the site of ancient Indraprastha, indicating that the earliest settlement here might have begun around 1000 BC when the painted greyware was in use.
यहाँ पर महाभारत के अवशेष थे कि नहीं, इसलिए भारतीय पुरातत्व सर्वेक्षण ने 1969 में एक यहाँ पर वृहत एक एक्सकैवेशन करवाया, जिसे कि प्रोफेसर बीबी लाल और डॉक्टर बीके थापर एंड श्री मुनीश चंद्र जोशी जी, उनके निर्देशन में यहाँ पर 1969 में एक एक्सकैवेशन किया गया, खुदाई करी गई, जो कि अगले 4 साल तक चलती रही। उस खुदाई से यह चीज़ स्पष्ट रूप में सामने आई कि यहाँ पर पिछले 2000 साल का इतिहास छिपा हुआ है। और जो सबसे अर्ली पीरियड, जो सबसे अर्ली हमको यहाँ पर मिला, वो थे पेंटेड ग्रेवियर, चित्रित धूसर मृदभांड जिसको हिंदी में कहा जाता है। और ये इन पेंटेड ग्रेवियर का संबंध प्रोफेसर बीबी लाल ने महाभारत काल से जोड़ा था। उनको और भी कई साइट्स में महाभारत कालीन जो लिखित साइट्स हैं, जैसे हस्तिनापुर है, कुरुक्षेत्र है, और भी कई साइट्स है, वहाँ से ये पेंटेड ग्रेवियर हमको मिली है। और वो पेंटेड ग्रेवियर हमको यहाँ पुराना किला से सबसे अर्ली फेज पे हमको मिली। हालांकि ये एक स्ट्रेटिफाइड लेयर नहीं थी, लेकिन छिटपुट जगह पे हमको ये मिलती चली गई, जिससे ये बात तो स्पष्ट रूप से है कि पेंटेड ग्रेवियर सभ्यता काल की जो बस्तियाँ थी वो यहाँ पर निवास करती थी।
Objects and pottery discovered during excavations at Purana Killa point towards the Mauryan, Shunga, Kushan, Gupta, Rajput, Sultanate and Mughal periods.
In 1956, I took charge of the Delhi circle, and I was all along keen to know whether this place known as Purana Killa and also known as Indraprastha was really Indraprastha. If you go to Purana Killa from the Mathura road side, you will find that you keep on going up and up and up, to the extent that inside the Purana Killa fort, it is something like 15 meters higher than the Mathura road level. There was an ancient mound which still is there, and these two rulers, Sher Shah and Humayun, took advantage of the height and put the fortification wall around it. That's why you see the fortification wall going much lower, whereas inside it is about 15 meters higher. So, in the fortification wall, on the southeastern side, there is a water gate, which used to connect. The river used to flow close to Purana Killa. So, in time of emergency, they could go through that water. Going to the water gate, you have got a sort of rain gully, which is deep enough, and it goes down and down to the water gate. I said the quickest way to tap the antiquity of the site was to take the already exposed portions, some of it. So I put a trench there, back by about 20 meters, and took an area of about 20 meters by 40 meters to see what is there in it. From top downwards, we found pre-Mughal material, Rajput period, then Gupta period, further down Kushan, Shungas, NBP period, which is contemporary with Buddha. We got clear walls, pottery and everything very systematically right up to the 6th or 7th century before Christ. As we went further down, we came across a sort of disturbance of stratification, which must have been probably because of this rain gully or something. So we did find the painted graveware pieces, quite a few of them, which are displayed in the museum, but they were not in their proper stratification, as was the case at Hastinapur and other sites. Now this shows that the site has the painted graveware. The site is as old as Hastinapur.
Many popular traditions have been associated with ancient Indrapat, and their genuineness has been established by various inscriptions.
There are in fact 3 inscriptions: Bijolia inscription and Palambauli inscription, as well as Sarban stone inscription. The third one speaks about Indraprastha, and in the 12th or 13th century AD, Indraprastha was reduced to the status of a pargana. It is mentioned that Indraprastha Pratigane Grame, and in the same inscription it refers to Delhi as founded by the Tomars, and a very beautiful city on the earth in the province of Haryana. It says, Deshosti Haryanakhya Prithivyam Sarg Sannibha Dhillikakhya Puri Tatra Tomarei Rasti Nirmita. So, Delhi or Dhillika was the city in early medieval times, but it was only because of the explorations and excavations conducted at a later stage from 1969 onwards, so in the 70s and 80s and also in the 90s of the last century, that the concept of Indraprastha was confirmed. It was not only a legendary, it was found that it's not just a legendary thing, but in fact a city existed here. Even during the Mughal times, Indraprastha was known as Indarpat, and its evidence at the present Purana Kila site was found. It's there in all the revenue records, where it is called in Mauja Indarpat, and it is confirmed that the site of Indarpat or ancient Indraprastha, which is said to have been established by the great architect Maya in the period of Mahabharata by the Pandavas, is confirmed.
Maya is believed to be the architect of Indraprastha, which had excellent palaces and buildings.
Sabhagrah was done by Maya, Maya Danav architect, and also the city planning was done by Vishwakarma. One more thing, it was written that there was a peerless pond inside, and that pond had lotus which were golden lotus inside. So all that I imagined through the text.
The existing double-storied tower of red sandstone at Purana Killa is known as Sher Mandal. In fact, various cultures have flourished around this area, as indicated by the excavations at this site.
It is very interesting to note actually that the relics and objects associated with the ancient sites and ancient times, they have been found in excavations by our archaeologists and historians, and we could also find their references in our text. We have found some text where we found the references of old cities and towns and urban settlements, and that's really very interesting. And IGNC has been trying and contacting eminent scholars, archaeologists who have found these things in excavations, and we have recorded their versions, and they have also authenticated, like the reference of Mahabharata. We have found the reference of Mahabharata in Indraprastha, which is very interesting and which is very authentic and genuine.
Trade routes of Indraprastha confirm that trade and business in the area was well established, and the accuracy of the place is also confirmed by the associated findings.
Associated finds which are available in the stratigraphy at Purana Killa, they are well comparable with other sites. So, on the basis of that, it is confirmed that this Indraprastha came into existence sometime at least 1000 BC, if not earlier, but there are chances that it starts somewhere in the middle of the second millennium BC, and that is how we can correlate it with the event of Mahabharata when the city was founded.
The colossus of the Mahabharata began moving from North to South India around the beginning of the Common Era. There began to appear certain texts comparing the local heroes of Mahabharata, but is there any correlation between the literature and the archaeology?
Archaeology and literature put together establish A, that the Mahabharata was a historical thing, B, that it took place sometime around 900 BC, plus minus 50 years this way or that way. So I have little doubt in my mind that this was the Indraprastha of Mahabharata.